Good evening. My name is Lauretta Compton, and I'm 14 years old. I've been a member of 4-H for 6 years. I actively participate in multiple 4-H clubs. I'm also the president of Future Leaders of Wakulla, also known as FLOW, and the vice president of the Wakulla County Council. This presentation is associated with the Communications Club and my experience as president with a few community projects with Future Leaders of Wakulla, or FLOW, and the Vice President of the Wakulla County Council. In less than 12 minutes, we will cover multiple topics, including evolution of money, how to earn money as a teen, time management, build and stay within a budget, recognizing the connections between emotions and money, consider opening a bank account, and the power of compound interest. Start with the purpose and evolution of money. Money is a means of exchange. Without money, the only way to exchange the items is by bartering. It's hard to imagine completing any of our community projects at 4-H by bartering. For example, when we organize one of our 4-H community projects, an annual prom for senior citizens of Wakulla, we need to purchase food items, prizes for seniors, and decorations for the event. Without the money, we would have to use the bartering system. If we are raising funds via a bake sale, we would need to find people who have vegetables, fruits, and decorations, and who are willing to exchange their items on our cookies. If we're unable to find these people, we would have to serve the seniors with only cookies, give them prizes as only cookies, and decorate the entire room for this event exclusively with cookies. This may make a few seniors happy, but it'll definitely not be good for their heart and cardiovascular system. So, bartering requires a coincidence of wants. Obviously, it's very inconvenient. Therefore, people were inventing various exchange mediums starting from clay tablets, shells, gold coins, and progressing to the modern expression such as paper money, plastic cards, and bitcoins. Any activity in life should start with establishing priorities and setting goals. It's even more important with money management. First, identify your priorities. For personal finances, divide your list of priorities into 4 categories: current priorities, intermediate priorities, long-term priorities, and savings in general. It should be self-explanatory. For our 4-H community projects, all of our priorities would be current since we're not allowed to transfer any excess money to the next year's project. However, within this category, it is important to identify the most essential items for the project that we must have. For example, the meals for the senior citizens versus the not so important ones as the decorations. If the budget is tight, the room for the senior citizens prom can be decorated with self-made items without any spending of cash. Earn some money. Well, there's endless possibilities, such as selling handmade crafts, walking a dog, working in a local grocery store, vlogging, babysitting, plus so many more. You all see 2 examples of raising money for one of our 4-H Pride projects, the prom for the senior citizens. On the first picture, I'm holding a check contribution for the food truck that I contacted and organized. On the second picture, we were selling cookies and other baked goods. Proper time management. To succeed in handling multiple responsibilities, you need to learn proper time management. This includes breaking down the big tasks into smaller ones, prioritizing your tasks, and focusing on one task at a time. For example, during this school year, we concurrently worked on at least 4 community projects. The first project, Fresh and Shine, was providing hygiene supplies for middle school children. The second project was the prom for the Wakulla County senior citizens. The third project was deeply rooted in the hands of time, was collecting the history of Wakulla County via reporting interviews of older generation and making a history book. And fourth project, a bubble run, was organizing the major health events in Wakulla County, stimulating health awareness and promoting a healthy lifestyle of youth. In addition to the community projects and other 4-H activities, I had school, chores, work, and other responsibilities to handle. I completed all the activities by setting deadlines, breaking down bigger tasks into smaller ones, creating a schedule, and prioritizing tasks. The only part I'm still working on is getting enough sleep. And follow a budget is in essence in order to keep the track of the pool of money available to spend and save for the future. If you stay away from credit cards or pay off all your credit card purchases monthly, you will have less chance to spend more than your available pool of money. This slide explains how to set up and manage a spreadsheet, keeping track of all your expenses and income. In addition to recording all your expenses and income, it is important to review weekly to see if your spending habits are within the budget or they need to be adjusted. In order to stay within the budget, it is important to avoid unnecessary costs. The most important rule of all purchases is due cost comparison between similar items made by different manufacturers or the same item that was distributed by the different retailers. To promote one of our community projects, we wanted to make special buttons. What I discovered that the cost of a new button making machine was over $600 versus the cost of a gently used machine on eBay with similar functions was about $65. In addition to the cost comparison, you need to record all your expenses and periodically evaluate them. To help not make unnecessary purchases, you may come up with a rule not to buy items spontaneously, but wait for a week or longer. The more expensive the items, the longer the waiting period should be. Recognize the connections between emotions and money. Number 1, resist impulse buying. Means do not make spontaneous purchases. Waiting for at least 1 week rule before making a purchase would be helpful. Number 2, do not use shopping as a retail therapy. Some people spend money just to feel better. The best remedy for it is not spending your parents' money but earning them yourself. When a teen realizes how much work is involved in to earn some money or just to earn a little bit of cash, then they start feeling good about spending money on the items that are truly needed and desired for a long time. Number 3, resist social pressure spending or make purchases to impress others. It's always a good idea to allocate a part of your money for the long-term goals or just for the savings in general. In this case, consider opening a bank account. When you open a bank account for your savings, make sure that the bank applies a compound interest, not a simple interest. With a compound interest, the interest on your principal keeps earning the interest too. In other words, let the money work for you. In summary, you learned how to earn money, establishing your money priorities, learning proper time management, building and following a budget, avoiding any unnecessary costs, separating emotions from money, and how to open a bank account. Money management is a large topic that is impossible to cover in under 12 minutes. 4-H Community Pride projects not only nurtured my leadership and teamwork skills, but also introduced me to the money management principles that I'm planning to keep developing in the future 4-H projects and for my personal finance management. Thank you for your time.